Yo guys, it's Clement, and today I'm gonna be reacting to what I think was my very best performance during the whole World League. So it was my game from week 15 against Debre. Um, so an interesting fact that you're gonna see is that I was not home. In fact, I was pretty much as far away from home as possible during this week. Um, as you can see here, I was in my hotel in a hotel in Istanbul um, on holidays. So yeah, these were holidays I planned like kind of in the last second because I like one friend was going there and I wanted to catch him up and catch up with him. And so like I couldn't like um, yeah, I had to play the World League games while there. Like I couldn't back out of the World League. So to be honest, did not expect to win a single point during that day. I was playing against Kirania and Debre, obviously both very good players, and I also knew that my internet was probably gonna be pretty bad. Um, so yeah, we'll be watching this game, which was a very interesting game, I think, eventually. And yeah, I really played this game very smartly. So the thing is, yeah, I knew very well that the internet would be pretty slow and I would have to play most rounds no move in moving, or like basically no move. Um, and yeah, we had a pretty basic Po Valley round. He did manage to get a very good guess in. Um, but yeah, when you can see here the frames per second of the webcam is pretty low. That's because I usually when the internet is bad, like you'd want to free up as much of the Wi-Fi for the actual game, I'd say, and then yeah, you just lower the FPS of like the screen share and the webcam. At least that's what I was doing during the beginning of the World League, and also during that week in Istanbul, playing on the Wi-Fi hotel. Yeah, we had a second round there in Brazil. I did go pretty far south on that round. Like, if you saw, I went Bahia, and that's like probably as far south as this could have been. Was no supports, was no nothing, but I couldn't really move and had to take some risk, probably in order to have like a slight, ever so slight chance of beating Debre in moving. But yeah, here we had the Sweden round again. Could not be bothered really on this round, so I just sent, and yeah, was just middle. Moving on to round four. Yeah, here we had a Turkey round. Now Turkey is a pretty good country for me, so I tried to just get everything in, get the thinking about the whole no move round thoroughly, and yeah, it did look like the south in my opinion, like a lot of pines, kind of a dryish vibe, and the 22 copyright made sense for that. So I just sent, and the ray goes a bit more north. And I mean, it was a bit more east, but still, there was a bit of points. Pretty nice to get a good guess in Turkey. Then here we had so I'll go back. Here we had the Brazil round. Now this was actually a pretty scary round. Like he gets to an area code very quickly, and I was like not really able to move much, and did not have like even the slightest idea of where we would be. It's like urban Brazil is kind of tough, but he decided not to insta send because I don't know. He thought I would also have the area code, but it took some time before I got there. But then finally I get to the 91 area code, which is Belém, and I just sent at this point because like, what more could I get? But yeah, he tried to region guess within the area code and got a little bit of points from it. But like, if he had insta sent, maybe I could have missed the area code and he would have just won there. But yeah, here we had a Bulgaria round. Kind of an issue always for me to read Cyrillic for some reason. I'm kind of always struggling, or like not very motivated, I would say, to like read Cyrillic. Um, but yeah, he found the town immediately, and I kind of assumed it would be too small to find, so I didn't really try that much. But it was actually kind of findable. Like Kubrat was pretty noticeable. So yeah, he found it immediately. Then we had a US round. which can be very scary if you can't really move around and the opponent is Debre, who knows like everything there is to know about the US. So I tried to take in the landscape, the car meta, like the light blue 24, which put me in Utah to begin with. Debre gets to an area code now, and like he found the town pretty quickly with the area code. But yeah, I was thinking Utah here just with the car, and like then I noticed the area code last second, which says 435, which confirmed Utah, and I just hedged. I didn't really try to line up the landscape. Here we had a Brazil round with just round poles around and blue car 24, like very urban round, made a lot of sense for Sao Paulo. He found an area code, so like I think 16, which is Ribeirão Preto where he went, and I was lucky to not be further away than that, or like lose more points than this, I guess. And then round 5, I mean, at this point it would be very hard for me to win because he was so far in front and I could barely move around. And here we had a round which did not really load as it should. I was basically only playing with the frame that was on the right. Like here, the landscape you were seeing, like the mountains don't load. And I'm just like, I just have the basic like frame that we spawned on visible. Like, if you look, like basically only this side is like actually loaded, and then when I turn around I don't really see the landscape. Like yeah, I don't like, this is all blurry pretty much. But I mean, I don't really know if I would have made a better guess. Like the problem is I couldn't even tell the country just from that. Like I was yeah, I was a bit lost. And yeah, even though I could like click around, the round didn't load, like it was all blurry pretty much. And the landscape, from what I could tell, I was like unsure between France and Spain, to be honest. Even though the road lines probably were more Spanish, but the landscape was confusing from what I could see. And yeah, they got very close. I mean, it makes sense. It is very gettable. The Picos de Europa Park, like very rocky, towering mountains that you don't really get in the Pyrenees, I think, on the Spanish side, at least. So yeah, pretty convincing first round win there by Debre. And I mean, I was ready to get destroyed 2-0 at that point. Like, I barely scratched off anything of his health. So, and here we had an Australia round, like very outback looking. We had some red soil, but the car looked white, so I was thinking Queensland maybe. I think like the car looked kind of weird, so he just considered the red soil and was going like Western Australia. But yeah, as you can see, I'm opting more for Queensland, but was considering NSW as well because I thought it looked kind of weird. I didn't really know, and it was just Queensland there, so that was like a huge hit on round 1. And yeah, obviously a bit annoyed that it's not on multis, but still, like, really big hit is always good to take. Then we had a Ukraine round, sorry, and yeah, not really much to say here. Kind of looks like the average urban round. I think we had the chipped antenna, yeah, which is usually it's east of Kiev, mostly northeast of Kiev, but also a bit southeast, like along the river. But I kind of hedged in between. But yeah, if you want to know what the shipped antenna means, wait, I think I zoom into the antenna here. Yeah, it's like that side is like dirty, or like it's a different color. The upper left side of the antenna, it's like a beige color, which it's easy to tell when you like look at it yourself. So you can just look around Chernihiv and stuff, and you'll see some chipped antenna. Here we had a Romania round. Yeah, not really much to say. I think we had a bunch of tiled roofs, so I tried southwest, or like at least western Romania, which tends to have more tiled roofs like that, a bigger proportion at least, and I was correct. So quite a nice guess there. They were down to 2k health. Here we had a very tricky location. I'm actually gonna put on 2x because I think some of the rounds it's taking a bit of time. A very tricky location here. We had like random volcanoes around and some yellow, very dry patchy grass. The volcanoes made me think like it almost looked like Chile or something, so thinking Jujuy. But scared about something else, scared about Mendoza or something. But yeah, Jujuy, I mean, it was kind of a weird guess because Jujuy doesn't really have Gen 3. It's all Gen 4, so it would have been like kind of. I would have expected it to be a Pano ID, let's say, if it was Jujuy. And yeah, it was actually Neoquin, probably very gettable. I did coverage check the road a bunch after this round, but yeah. Yeah, actually, let me put back to 1.25. Okay, this is a kind of a tricky round. Like the architecture looks southwestern Spain or Portuguese, but it's hard to find anything to confirm either country. Like the plates are a bit too far away to tell in Gen 3, and the landscape is ambiguous. We can't really see the poles. So I ended up going for the border. But yeah, it's definitely the house that gave me the Portuguese vibe as well. Like the house Debre is looking at now, orange and white painted house. Kind of felt either like Andalusia or Extremadura or Portugal. So yeah, I just hedged in between the three and it ended up being Portugal. So yeah, quite a lot of points again. And then we had a Brazil location with a pretty Amazonian vibe. Also said Banco de Amazonia on that sign, which at first I wished I could trust. So I was, I mean, at least I put my marker down in Amazonia for much of the round. And yeah, I was checking if there would be anything else on the sign that could be useful, but I did not really find anything. Yeah, it's kind of pondering around and trying to look for anything on the round, but there wasn't really much to see. And then last second, what did I see? I saw this pole, this exact top, the three alternating insulators and the one on top. That is a pole that is exclusive to Acre and Mato Grosso. So I switched at the very last second and was actually correct. I was like really relieved about that and very happy. Could have been Mato Grosso, but I didn't really get that vibe. I got the very like deep Amazonian vibe, either Acre, Amazonas, or something like that. So yeah, made sense in the end. Yeah, just lucky I got to see the pole at the very end of the round. So we got into an NMPZ, which is very good for me because that's the only round where the internet connection wasn't gonna be like a huge disadvantage for me. But yeah, I don't really know why my cam isn't there, but that might be because the internet is just like too slow at that moment and then the cam stops working. I don't know. Or like the cam stops uploading, I should say. But yeah, here we had a pretty basic Ontario round, the single yellow line. Then the other round, this one was kind of more tough. He instantly thought about Sri Lanka with these reservoirs and dry hills, which I didn't think about immediately, but I was thinking Thailand at first, but then Sri Lanka made sense once I thought about it because, Gen 3, dry vibes, reservoirs, and dry hills and stuff. It really made a lot of sense, like super narrow dirt road. Like it is kind of something that most people would probably miss, or at least, I mean, most people in the World League would get, obviously, but like yeah, probably need to play a lot of NMPZ games to get these correctly. But yeah, it is just a vibe, specific vibe that gives the round away there, probably. Here we had kind of a round which either you know or you don't, but like it was a divided road with a kind of a dry green landscape, which is typical of the road between Kislorda to Shymkent, which is divided all the way from Shymkent to Kislorda, and then like he gets a bit further out than Kislorda, where it's undivided, but I guess kind of in the middle and got very close. So yeah, really nice one. Then we had an extremely tricky round here. So a lot of water around, kind of a poor looking pavement, and yeah, the water is right next to us. So thinking that this is definitely like a lake and not like the East Coast, which is what Debre was considering as well at some points. But I had no idea about where. Like, was trying to scan everything I could inside of Ontario to find something that would make sense. While Debre is just yeah, the same, hovering around, thinking, trying to see what it could be. And I didn't find a single place that would make sense in Ontario with that angle of the lake. So I ended up hedging for US because I just didn't know what it could be. And it was actually Manitoba. Quite a few points there, despite my guess being kind of yeah, mild. Yeah, still pick up the points. Here we had a Turkey round. I think we had bollards, kind of hard to see on the small screen, but we had bollards in the distance. And yeah, this type of spring courage made sense for Western Turkey. I was either thinking like Bolu area, which has a lot of this, or more south, like near Denizli and stuff. But Denizli has got a lot of new Gen 4, so definitely thinking more north. And yeah, it was just Bolu. I kind of went a bit more south to hedge for the rest of the west, but yeah. And then Qatar around here, yeah, just very, yeah, kind of hard to say why not why not Qatar, I guess. But wait, no, I said Qatar. No, it's Oman. These small urban rounds are very common in Oman, I'd say, and not very common in Qatar. Like, you'd usually either be in Doha or on like a random main road. And yeah, it was just right in between us. And yeah, I don't really know why he went so far south. He kind of must have seen something or gotten the specific like vibe that it would not be North Coast. But yeah, we have a Philly round. The house to the right looks very Philly, you know, with the white brick and stuff. And the landscape is interesting. Like, it's not very tropical, so yeah, definitely thinking the most likely would be Luzon, but I was a little bit scared. But yeah, on this type of round, I was definitely assume Debre would just go Luzon, so I ended up going for it. And yeah, both very close there again. And then we got an arch location. Kind of looked similar to the arch round in No Move, in a way. So yeah, I was considering same type of area in Neuquén, but was a bit scared that it could be like, you know, Santa Cruz or Chubut. But yeah, it was just Neuquén. I was a bit mad that I didn't just go Neuquén there and win, because I could have just won by being like 40 kilometers closer, but yeah, still had a pretty strong advantage. And then we got into this round, the black car 24, or like we couldn't see the car, but it was 24. So yeah, made sense for the north, and I just checked Chiclayo initially because I thought that made the most sense with the landscape and the vibe. And yeah, the road angle fit pretty well, like the slightly bending angle. So I assumed it would just be that, and yeah, I won just like this. So yeah, very interesting game, because I was definitely losing quite badly against him in moving and thought I would have absolutely no chance, but then I played like pretty well in the other modes. Maybe the no move one wasn't really the best by both of us, but yeah, you know, was still able to win it. And then NMPZ I played very well. I didn't make a single mistake other than, you know, missing Manitoba, I guess, on that very difficult Canada round, but generally just a very good NMPZ game, which, yeah, I haven't been able to play at that level that much in the World League, or at least I usually make like one or two mistakes in NMPZ, which cost me the game. But this was just a very good game overall. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and enjoyed the breakdown of this game. And yeah, I was like very happy about this game, and also kind of, yeah, it's kind of a fun game in the way, like the way it was played from Turkey. I was with my friend at the hotel, and I mean, obviously I was alone when I played the game, but yeah, he was in another room, and we were just like visiting Istanbul this whole week, and yeah, it was one of the the most interesting and coolest cities I think I've ever visited. Yeah, I thought it'd be pretty cool to share with you the breakdown of this game, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it, and see you soon for another video. Thanks for watching.